GametimeUK, and Jungen, and welcome back to the F1 podcast. I am joined by David.
Hey.
So, obviously, this podcast is going to be a little bit of a longer one because we're going to do Britain and Austria together. But we're going to start.
Two for the price of one, folks.
Yeah, but we're going to start with Britain. And it's probably not going to be a lot said about Britain from us, actually.
Well, unfortunately, I only saw the highlights program due to other commitments, so.
Well, you were travelling out the country. And obviously,
Yeah.
I didn't see much at the time. I managed to catch what I caught, but didn't catch any of the practice.
No,
So
likewise.
practice is going to be out of this one. I did catch quali, but quali was just quali.
Yeah.
Really, there was nothing much that I can really say about quali. It was just usual, apart from the Ferraris were just
Ferrari's ability to screw themselves over at times seems to know no limits.
Yeah. The strategy of Ferrari at the moment is just a bit of a weird one.
That implies they've got one.
Well, yeah.
I'm sure they're making this up as they go along.
Well, it just seems to be, who are they favouring? And,
Trouble is that we're too early in the season to favour anybody yet.
That's what I mean. But Leclerc seemed a little, obviously, he seemed a bit hard done by because he felt that the team were favouring Sainz.
Well, just the problem was the way I see it. I mean, I'm assuming now we're jumping straight to start the end of the race almost. But
Almost.
the team had, to me, the double stack was too risky with the cars at the gap they were at. And for whatever reason, Carlos got the first call, which I'm actually. I think it was good for Carlos.
Yeah.
I think it's something he's needed for a little while, ever since he had that little bit of run of bad luck right back at the beginning of the year.
Well, yeah.
I think he's needed a really good weekend just to calm himself down now. Unfortunately, it was short-lived, but...
Yeah. I mean, what I caught of the British, obviously the Grand Prix, because I'd nipped into the city and then come back. So basically, I was nipped into Manchester on Sunday, and I come back from being there. I caught some of the run up, but not a lot because I thought I can't bother.
Yeah.
And I managed to catch the national anthem though. Some people weren't impressed by it. I was. I actually quite liked it.
You can probably put me in there. I'm not the biggest Sam Ryder fan, I'll admit it.
I'm not, but it was just a case of... It was just like, yeah, a bit different. Different to the Austrian anthem. Austria's national anthem, what the fuck? But we'll get on to that one. So, formation lap went, lights go out, and oh my
And all hell breaks
god!
Now, I don't particularly think there's a particular blame to be put with anybody there. I don't think it was a particular driver's fault. It was one of those first corner.
Every fucker was battling.
Yeah.
Really, everybody was battling and trying to gain, but holy crap. I mean, I actually, later on, we are talking about Guan Yu, his crash. Fucking hell. I watched later on with that other guy that reports for Sky Sports. He has, I think has he done the interviews, previous interviews?
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Sort of, is he Scottish?
Something like
He's
that.
got quite a deep voice. I watched a video on one of their socials, and it actually shows you the ground on the grid where the car had literally taken the asphalt away. I mean, all I'm going to say is thank God for that halo.
Yeah, I'll say yeah. I've got to.
Because the only thing I don't get, which, yeah, it carried on going, but how the fuck did it manage to flip?
That's the weird one.
Because it's gravel. I would have expected that gravel to slow it down.
Well, no, the trouble is when a car hits gravel sideways.
Yeah, but it was upside down. Usually, the wheels would cause more friction on the gravel, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it was upside down, there was nothing to stop it, but for it to flip, I expected it to just slide along the gravel, bang into the barrier upside down. Not launch itself 2 feet in the air, hit a fucking catch fence,
and land in the gap in between.
Oh.
Now, this where to me there's a bad piece of design there to have that gap between the two.
Why
barriers.
was there a gap?
You know, obviously, just the way it had been put together at the time, they probably didn't anticipate a car ever trying to do that.
Well, that'll be getting reviewed, I bet.
You would hope so.
I mean, honest to God, it's lucky that fucking car didn't catch fire. It'd have been a very, very different outcome.
Oh, yeah.
But it was weird. Why did Guan Yu not get shipped to the hospital, right?
Because he got checked out and obviously passed all the checks he needed to.
But Albon did.
Yeah, no, Albon, now that was a real unlook, because what that was Albon.
That was a fucking concrete wall.
No, it wasn't that. There's a fiver in the pot.
Yeah.
What it was a flame. It was he stepped on the brakes hard because everything in front of him was kicking off, and Seb just gave him the old
bang,
old special.
But it was a concrete wall though. I think that's why he got sent to the hospital. The fact that he hit a concrete wall, but I would have thought it would have been perhaps both of them going to the hospital. Just because,
obviously, for whatever reason, like, as you know, the cars have various sensors in them, and obviously, for whatever reason, those sensors were not triggered. Zhao was then cleared.
Yeah, I feel sorry for George Russell. I really do.
Oh, it was not his fault.
The car wouldn't start up again.
I don't even think it was. Well, you're talking about. I know you.
I'm talking.
I saw that as kind of pig-headed from Mercedes, really.
What?
Because the rules are quite whether he should have been allowed back in the race.
It happened to Perez, if you remember.
Yeah, but there's one big difference. Perez did not get outside assistance.
No, I know he didn't. The reason the car didn't start in the end. George's car wouldn't start, that's why it ended up having to get the outside assistance. If it had have started, and he'd have managed to get that back to the pits, then fair enough.
If he'd been able to drive it back under his own accord, then he'd have been fine 20, but as soon as a marshal touches it, that car's retired, and that's been the rules for for a long time, and yeah, I just found Merc were being a bit
Oh, yeah.
Oh, start fixing the car, we'll argue about it. It's like, no, that's...
But, yeah. That's not the first time Russell has helped somebody. I mean, that goes back to karting days as well. Because you saw a picture on one of their socials. You saw him helping somebody. Don't know who it was, can't remember. But yeah, I kind of see why Mercedes were a bit pissed about that. But like we say, once it's been once it's outside assistance, then that's it.
As soon as a marshal touched it, that car's finished for the day, and that's been the rules for a long time now.
But the thing is, he told the marshals to leave it.
If it wouldn't start, then
no, at first he told them to leave it because he was trying to get to Guanyu.
And
then when he went back he was going to go back to the car, but they'd already put it up on a loader. That's the thing. He told them to leave it.
But this is at the end of the day, that's the way it is, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Now, this is going to sound really bad, but I don't give a shit. I take it you heard about the protesters.
Yep, I've seen the pictures.
What fucking morons.
Well,
it's lucky there was a red flag.
Oh yeah, 100%. If it got met by a car, a freaking knife-shaped car doing 200 miles an hour, it would have ended.
Because it was at the
what were even protesting? I don't even know what they were.
The thing is, it was all this. It's all environmental shite. It was. Sorry, Seb, but yeah, you know. It was to do with like. Yet again, the gas, to do with like the petrol and shit like that. But F1 cars don't use petrol.
Standard.
They don't use standard petrol. They use like a biofuel shite, don't they? They use biofuel plus hybrid thing.
Yeah.
So to protest, they weren't protesting against F1 as a whole. They were using F1 as a stage for their protest. But it was like Ted said in the notebook, or whatever it was, it's lucky there was a red flag.
Oh, yeah.
At the time, they just happened to get on the track at the wrong time. So it could have been worse.
Oh, it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been a lot worse. Because like he said, even if they'd got on the track and there wasn't a red flag, then yeah, who knows?
That would probably have ended badly for
drivers
a lot of people.
And people. Yeah, it could have been much worse than just one car crashing.
Yeah.
And it was just lucky, like I say, it was lucky that they it had obviously red flag because of the accident. Anyways, and there was no cars even near the Wellington Straight. Because that's where it was, wasn't it? It was Wellington Straight.
I think so, yeah, they were down on the main.
Yeah. But they quickly got scooped up by the authorities and I imagine...
hopefully beaten to death, but unfortunately.
Yeah, I imagine they'll have had their photographs took and they'll be banned and everything will be going through the
courts.
Well, F1 will take action against them, but what can they do?
Basically, on
trespass. Yeah, they'll have them on trespass.
I would think.
Even with it, what a day to do it though. I get it's a stage. They weren't protesting against Formula 1, but you don't wander onto a live racetrack.
Well, even drivers get in trouble for doing that one, don't they? As
George Russell did.
George and Seb in Australia, even though that one we don't fully agree with.
Yeah, that one we don't fully agree with. I just still don't agree with the George. But, like was said, they have to get permission from a marshal to do that. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me started on an FIA rant yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
Not yet.
No, that comes later into the podcast, folks, once he's had a drink or two.
But yeah, Silverstone this year having to be one of the
better ones.
Better ones. I mean,
Silverstone's track I've quite famously not been the biggest fan of.
No, but that was
bad as it sounds.
Yeah, but that was one of the better Silverstone races.
Oh yeah.
I mean, okay, credit to this is going to sound wrong coming out of my mouth. Credit to Hamilton and Leclerc on cops. Fucking hell. I mean, they weren't giving that up. Jesus. They got that was, like I said, that was a Max and Hamilton replay, except it was Leclerc and Hamilton, except it didn't end as Hamilton shunting Leclerc. But yeah, that takes some skill for them to do that round cops, given that Hamilton remembers he fucked Max up there.
Oh yeah. But not only that, you had all the kerfuffle at the start, the restart of the safety car, didn't you, with Leclerc, Perez? Or was it on? No, it was on the first restart, wasn't it? After they cleared up Zhao's car.
Yeah.
Which, and this is gonna sound odd coming from me, but when I watched it back a couple of times, I actually think Perez was kind of in the wrong. He dived back across the track to block Leclerc as a late move.
Yeah, but this is exactly what I mean. I like Perez as much as I love Perez, He should have been fucked for that. He should have been penalised. Or, so much should have been noted by the FIA. And was it? No. This is what I mean about, like we had the discussion off, off air, shall we say, that the inconsistencies of the stewards and the FIA and the race directors hasn't gone unnoticed. Even, by fans, by drivers, because all the drivers are, even the members of, the GD, that thing that George Russell's the head of, anyways.
The BRDC, the British Racing Drivers Association.
Yeah. All the drivers are basically going to him and saying, look, and he's noticed it as well, consistency is a thing that needs to be addressed by the FIA. Screw the silly little jewellery and all, that's suddenly gone quiet, hasn't it? All the jewellery and all this fire-proof underwear and all this bollocks. That's suddenly gone quiet. But, yeah, the big thing is consistency from the race directors and the stewards. Which, as we saw from Austria, which we will get to, you could tell the difference.
Oh, yeah.
You could completely tell the difference, and yeah. Fair play to Sainz for Silverstone. Max got dude over.
Problems with the kids, problem with Alex.
It wasn't
on a season where
it wasn't Max got done over as so much Max's fault. He had a piece of AlphaTauri wedged under him.
Yeah, technically Red Bull got one of their own pieces back.
Yeah. And that completely damaged his floor. And it was just like, fair enough. It was damage limitation. Max is still ahead. Not by much, but he's still ahead. I mean, the sprint's done him good. Perez needs to up his game a bit because Leclerc's now ahead in driver championship.
Perez jumped him, did he, this last? I haven't fully looked at the charts, so.
Leclerc's jumped him. Yeah.
There still won't be a huge amount in. There'll still be plenty of.
Still not impressed with the two. We got 2-week gap now. The championship standings. Perez is on 151. Leclerc's on 170.
Right. So still, because what's Max will be on
208.
So still not a lot in it, really.
And Carlos is on 133, and George Russell is on 128. Hamilton is on 109. Obviously, you've got Norris on 64 and Ocon 2. Bottas 46. Alonso 29. Magnussen's 22. Danny Ricks.
What a year Hasser having there. Let's take a second
Yeah.
to appreciate 2 points finishes in a row.
I mean, Mick's on 12 points. Last season, he didn't even have that.
No. He's got most of them in the last two. In fact, he's got more in the last 2 races.
Yeah. Hasser, they're not.
And let's say it was so good to see him taking that battle to Hamilton. To Verstappen, sorry.
To Max at Silverstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was, he was getting punchy with him, like.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's a good one we want to see.
And apparently Vettel was actually watching it, could see it, and he was actually literally, apparently he was shouting in the car, basically, wanting Mick to get Verstappen. Mick knew Verstappen was in trouble, but
yeah,
if he did,
I mean, he had a good crack into the last corner. Max had to
too fucking right, he did.
On him.
Yeah, I know he did. Mick, he's got this confidence, which I'm hoping now is going to continue less.
I think 2 things. Number one, they've got a car that's actually got some use to it.
Yeah.
And as daft as it sounds, I think having K-Mag there is doing him the world of good. Because I'll be honest, and I said it towards the end of last season, and I hated saying it, but he was starting to be outperformed a little bit by Mazepin. You look at the back end of last season, he was starting to look like he was dropping back now.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody with K-Mag's experience there with him, and possibly even Vettel, we know he's really good friends with Vettel, helping just to get his head together and get him.
I think so. I
mean, let's be honest here. If it wasn't for his surname, he would have had half the conversation, and maybe he's not going to be an amazing driver. There's no guarantee of that. But to see, I've said it for the last few years, and I still say we have such a great sort of future of F1. The way some of the young guys coming up. I mean, we've got so many great young drivers. I know we've only got one rookie this year,
which is quite unusual. But he's not doing. Okay, Silverstone wasn't his fault. He's not actually doing too bad for his. I mean, for his first.
Once again, he's got Bottas on the other side of the garage. How much is that helping?
Yeah, I mean, he's got 5 points.
Yeah,
that was more than Mick had, like, in his first fucking season.
Yeah,
he's proving it. I mean, yeah, like we said, Bottas will be helping him.
Because obviously you got a guy there with a lot of experience.
An ex-Mercedes driver.
Tell you what, does he sit there thinking, well, I was going to say, does he sit there thinking he got out at the right time? Well, let's be honest, Mercedes look continues that they build a bag of shit and still seem to be able to drag it home.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
idea.
I'm sure
Really
Mercedes
don't.
could send 2 wheelie bins out to some other world and make sure they didn't finish last.
I've got no answers to that Mercedes. I mean, it is just being right place, right time with them.
Yeah. You know, obviously Silverstone, they did well with like Max having problems.
Yeah.
Perez had one hell of a drive.
Hmm.
Which is going to be completely sort of undone with what happened at Austria, which I'm going to come to
When we get to
in that
Austria.
section. But yeah, Perez had, as much as I say, and I put him to blame for the Leclerc incident, he managed to get the wing change and get right back up there. Yeah, safety car, that helped, but
Yeah.
once again, to me, proving his worth, because I couldn't see Albon ever doing all like that.
No. Perez, for Perez to finish second, yet Hamilton third, Leclerc fourth. I mean, he was 3.779 seconds off. Signs.
But yeah, that was after
towards
coming
the
back
end. And
from a wing change.
yeah, you had Albon, Guan Yu Zhou, Russell, Bottas, Gasly, and Ocon that didn't finish Silverstone.
Yeah.
And out of 14, from where he was, like we say, he had a hell of a fucking recovery drive. Absolute hell of a recovery drive.
Salvage operation. Well, the highest finishing Red Bull after, say, having to have a full wing change.
Yeah. They did, at the beginning of the season, it looked like he wasn't, he was not. He was getting used to the car. He was struggling. He was clearly struggling.
The Red Bull's obviously not an easy car to live with if your name's not Verstappen.
I'm guessing so.
The car is very much designed around him and his driving style.
Yeah. But whatever they've done to Perez's car at the moment is working for him.
When it's not going, he's not having to pick Mercs out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. But it does show. Yet again, I'll go back to that comment I once made. The cars are quite fragile. I mean, you look at Max when he had the damage of his side pod.
Oh yeah.
There's been others that you've managed to see a hole in the car.
The Ferraris this year have got to be pretty much the factory definition of fast but fragile. You need to work so it blows up. When I say blow up, I mean fucking blow up.
Too right, it blew up. Well, yeah, because Leclerc had that blow up, didn't he? But it wasn't a grenade style blow up. But yeah, no, Silverstone was one of the better races.
Yeah.
For Silverstone.
Oh yeah, 100%.
It was. So towards the end, it was just getting really, really getting very exciting.
I was getting punchy on it, which, to be fair, like I say, Austria kind of had that for me. Obviously, the job they've done on these cars to make them run closer together has worked. Because they can fight, they can scrap. And it's great.
I don't know how they're going to fare at France, though, if I'm honest.
Well, my opinion on the French circuit at the best of times.
So, obviously, we're now going to move into the Austrian side of things. I didn't see Austria. I didn't see practice.
I didn't see enough of it to talk about. Like I said, the main ones I saw were quali, sprint, race.
Yeah, I saw the quali. And quali was just quali. Apart from
both Hasses into the top 10. Aston Martin appear to, at the moment, have forgotten what the purpose of qualifying is.
Yes. Was it quali that the Mercs went bye-bye?
Yeah.
Yes.
All the Hamilton fans listening may want to sort of shut your ears for this one, because we no doubt it wasn't easy to watch as Hamilton slid off beautifully into the barrier.
What the fuck happened? I mean,
I think it was just a gust of wind or something. One, it caught the back of the car,
and then he tried to correct it, and there was no correcting that. Bye-bye.
Yep. Meet a wall.
Yeah, but the thing was, it was like, yeah, he's just been that, and then, he sounds so fucking deflated on the radio, and it was like, I get screwed. Yeah, you binned it. You're losing your talent.
And then Russell turns around and goes, anything you can do, I can do better.
I felt sorry for Russell, because that was the last corner. I don't think I've ever seen anybody bin it there.
Not in that style. There was a good few years ago where Schumacher took it too wide before they reprofiled it and ripped his entire front end off. This being Michael, of course, not Mick.
Yeah, because he didn't touch any curb. That was the weirdest thing. When you saw the replays, he didn't.
I think he was slightly onto the. I think that's because I know when Brundle was saying he was slightly on the edge of the track. I think he had the car unsettled enough that when he turned it in, he just didn't have the grip he expected.
And it went bye-bye, straight into a barrier.
Yep. And then the Mercedes mechanics had a very late night.
Yeah. Because he hit it back end, didn't he?
Yeah.
And I was thinking...
he was lucky to not have gearbox.
Exactly.
I think they did change both gearboxes, but they changed them to ones that had been already used, so they didn't incur...
Yeah, because Norris had to go back to an older ICE. Norris went back to an older internal combustion engine.
Yeah, it's a bit down on power. And didn't the Mercs, didn't Russells have a newer rear wing on that they didn't have any spares of?
I think so.
And because it went in backwards, obviously it knackered the rear wing, so they had to go back to the old.
Yeah, and I mean,
in Hamilton's case, it was a complete new chassis, wasn't it? It was a...
Yeah.
They reused the engine and that, so they didn't incur penalties,
Look,
but it was a complete chassis
was it a
change.
new chassis, or was it the older? Was it an old chassis?
That I couldn't tell you. I know they said it was a chassis change.
Yeah, I think it was an older chassis. Second? Oh, okay, yeah. Tim's agreed that. That's alright.
Okay. Well, he's agreed it was an older chassis. That's good to know.
Yeah. No, yeah, he's agreed what we discussed. Off. Yeah.
Yep, so the porn comes to the channel end of the month. Got you.
I mean, I can't even remember what happened to Perez.
What do you mean?
Because he didn't.
Oh, for qualifying, yeah. Basically, they decided that he had he'd run too wide around one of the corners. Right. But the trouble is, they didn't decide it till after the end of quali, so they deleted his time from this was in Q2.
Right.
So they deleted his Q2 time and every single time after that, which, to be honest, was a very harsh penalty because he lost 9 places. It dropped him back to 13th. But they'd already done Q3, so they'd burnt another set of tyres.
So what? This is what I meant. This is reiterating my point about the consistency of the stewards.
I know that isn't a consistency issue, because if he was over the line, he was over the line. It's clear cut. The problem was how slow they were to make the decision.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. It's yet again everything seems to be with the stewards at the moment is review after the session. It's not just F1; it is going through F2 and F3 as well.
And I get that sometimes when they maybe do need extra time to look at other angles, and
they have an angle that you don't see on the TV.
Oh, they have loads of data that we do not see.
Yeah, they have
and I mean loads.
They have a camera
It wasn't. No, I know what you're talking about. It wasn't that corner.
No, I know, but they have cameras that can see track limits.
Because you're talking about the last corner where they had the specific.
No, but
now, like I say, it wasn't the last.
no,
It was the one.
it was
The one before the corner that the pit lane entrance is on. So you've got the little chicane before you hit like the last two bends.
yeah, it was there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The chicane that can fuck you up.
You in one of our multiplayer series have quite a big accident there.
I have.
Or was it no? Alan spun out there, didn't he, last time?
Alan spun there, didn't I get? Wasn't there? Didn't an AI? No, it wasn't. No, because the AI took us out earlier on. Yeah, Alan spun out on that bit, and I have occasionally used to spin on that bit as well.
The only bit that used to get me with Austria is you wouldn't anticipate a car going into the pit lane and end up creaming the back of it at about 140 mile an hour. Which, to be honest, was it? Somebody nearly did that to Zhao during the race.
Yeah, I know.
Don't think they anticipated him to slow, and then next thing, because the trouble is the pit entrance is right on the racing line.
Yeah. It's a bad pit lane, is Austria.
It's generally, as I've said before when we've raced, it's a circuit I actually really like.
I do like Austria, but it's a strange pit lane.
Yeah, but there's not a lot. I don't think there's much else you could do with it. The only way you could do it is to make it enter earlier before the corner, and that would just make it such a stupidly long.
Yeah, true.
Pit entrance. It's one of those. Unless the only other thing you could do,
they'd have to reprofile it, wouldn't they?
Well, not that. I was going to say take it out from the outside and tunnel it under the same way Abu Dhabi's pit exit is. Well, that depends on the land, on how difficult that would be to do.
Yeah, but they're in the mountains.
Still doesn't mean you're going to be able to just dig down, no problem.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. They're in the mountains. They could have problems. But yeah, no, it was a strange decision letting him carry on Q3. If they were gonna do that, they should have just said, "Look, no," tell him that's it, sort of thing. Because
I agree. Like I say, because Red Bull risked the car, put mileage on the engine that they then didn't have to,
and tires,
and burned 2 sets of tires.
Yeah.
Which actually didn't make much difference in the race because the car wasn't in the race long enough to have problems with that.
Oh, sprint race.
Which he did a cracking job on that sprint race.
He did.
I mean, he managed to overtake a Haas, which is something the Merc found very difficult.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, the good thing, he finished 7th in the sprint.
Yeah.
But because of his penalty, he got dropped.
No, he didn't. He kept his sprint start place.
No. He kept the sprint, but the penalty that he got in qualifying applied to the race. So he got dropped.
I don't think he did. No, the qualifying he applied to the sprint. He got dropped to 13th in the sprint.
Oh yeah, he did, didn't he? Sorry. No, he
got back up to, was it 4th or 5th?
5th. And the only people that didn't finish the sprint was Alonso and... Oh no, yeah, we'll get onto that in a minute. Vettel didn't finish. Alonso didn't start. Now,
no.
What the actual shit went on there with Alonso?
Alpine making him feel like he was back in a McLaren.
The tyre blankets were on.
Yeah, because he knew the car had issues. Obviously, it was their way of showing to the steward because he knew that would force the steward to delay the start.
But yeah, it was tyre blankets and the jacks were under it.
Because they already know now if there's still a mechanic touching the car at a certain time, there's penalties coming.
Yeah.
I'm guessing the way they did it was no penalties, but sort of say give the authorities word that look, this car's got a problem.
Yeah. Because that's why it got one lap knocked off the sprint.
Hmm.
Oh,
You ended another formation like while they got his car off the grid.
Was it that and where am I thinking of Guan Yu Zhou's car dying?
Was it?
The pit.
It was looked to be having issues, but then he seemed to manage to get going again. Didn't
but then he had to go from the pit. It had issues.
Bottas started from the pit lane because he was he changed components.
But is that the race or was that a sprint? It's molding.
That could have been the sprint. Sorry,
one of them was molding into one because Bottas. I need the style. Sprint. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, because Guan Yu Zhou was 18th. Alonso was 8th. Actually. Verstappen, Leclerc, Sainz, Russell, Ocon. Yeah, Magnussen, Schumacher. Alonso, Hamilton, Gasly. One Bottas. Perez, yeah. That was it. Perez was 13th. Penalties. I was 18th, but because Bottas and I had down pit lane and Alonso didn't, then yeah, because of him because of his car dying.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was I kind of get it, but it was obviously because of the impact of Silverstone as well, I imagine. That's the Silverstone crash, because I don't think he changed the engine. So there might have been a little bit of teething issues.
I would be very surprised if they didn't, because that engine sustained one hell of a...
I don't know if they did or not. Because nothing was ever said. Because usually like Crofty and that lot
pick up on stuff like that. Yeah. Maybe they did, but I'll be honestly surprised if they didn't.
Well, yeah, because it did. Well, the engine... If you ever did the engine get up, it will have got a whack. Then when it went through the air, it was floor first, wasn't it?
Still,
onto the catch fence.
Engines are not designed to go in a washing machine.
Well, yeah, that's true. But yeah, the sprint was good, punchy, but I don't think it was good for Mercedes, to be honest.
And the problem with that is?
No problem. No, I'm just saying I don't think it was good for Mercedes because of...
Say, watching him spend half the...
Couldn't even get past a fucking Haas.
To be fair, I do think the Hasses were working together on that one.
They were, because... Did you not hear Mick say, can you get Kevin?
Yeah, I think they were doing it before. Like, I think K-Mag had the brains. He was just keeping him
pulled.
Close enough.
Yeah, he was pulling him. He was pulling Mick along, because that's why he said, can you get Kevin to slow down a bit? But then Hamilton obviously had better... Oh no, that was in the race, wasn't it? Was that the race? Fuck no, that
Well, that was the thing that he sort of continued on in the race, didn't he? Like I said, one of my favourite moments of racing this year. Well, I say, I'm pretty sure, was it Ocon and Zhao were fighting? Next thing, K-Mag rocks up, passes them both. And then suddenly there's Norris and I think Hamilton again, or... There ended up being about 6 cars going up into turn 3, pretty much side by side.
Yeah, it's about 5 or 6 cars. It was like, this is gonna end badly.
Going into turn 1 and say K-Mag actually makes it 3 wide. It's like, yeah, okay, you're brave. I'll give you that.
Well, it was. Where was that move at? And I will say it was it Perez? It was Perez, wasn't it? Was it Perez, Hamilton, and somebody else? Leclerc?
Something like that, yeah.
Silverstone? Them two are fucking fighting it out. Hamilton just dives down the inside. It's like,
yeah,
wow, you're brave. That was a good moment. But yeah, the Austrian Grand Prix was.
It was a good, like I say, we got to see the rule changes about making them run closer together worked because we got a lot of quite good racing.
Oh yeah. But yeah, I get why the track limits, but 46.
43, wasn't it?
Was it 43? Okay then.
Like averaging over 2 per driver.
43 track limit infringement.
But I've always been a big believer that the track limit should be the white line, the full length of the track.
Yeah, but now you got that.
Yeah, and it made him think.
It did. I want to know your views on the FIA this year. You never tell me your views because it's usually me that goes on about the FIA. I want to know your views on them. Throughout the races we've had this season so far, what is your views on the FIA, the stewards, the consistency of them?
The consistency is the issue. I say the problem I sort of have with it is how to word it. The thing with this year is we've had consistency, but not only that, you're never going to please everybody. Somebody's going to feel hard done by.
I'm
afraid that's just the way it goes.
That's what you're going to say about it.
But I've told you my thoughts. This idea of having 2 race directors, I don't think is a bad idea. But to me, they should both be at every race. That is how I would do it.
Yeah. There should be. There should be more consistency, really, within the race directors. I mean, I'm going to say it. I don't care what you Hamilton fans think, but if you want to cover your ears now, please do. You want to mute me a minute? Please do.
Can I do that?
No, can you fuck? Bring back Michael Massey. Okay, Hamilton fans, you can now uncover your ears. At least there was consistency. Yes, may have been issues with Michael Massey, but there was consistency.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I remember when fucking Johnny Herbert ended up on the stewards team, for Christ's sake.
Well, they always have a driver steward who is normally an ex-driver, which they often be able to give an insight that sometimes that non-drivers can't see.
Yeah. Well, I know there's going to be an issue brought up with the FIA. Did you see any of the after the race stuff?
A little bit.
Did you see Seb's interview?
No, but no.
No, but you think you know what I'm going to say next?
I have a feeling, yes.
To do with the carbon brake dust on his face.
Yeah.
I think something's going to be said about that.
That actually wasn't what I was thinking of, but you've reminded me of that as well, and yeah, you're right on that.
Because I kind of agree, I do agree with what Seb's saying. You know, the FIA should be putting something in to address that.
Yeah.
Because the carbon brake dust, wow.
Yeah, I can very easily imagine it's not going to be overly nice stuff.
It's a killer. It can kill you. If you get enough of that stuff, it will eventually kill you. But it seems weird how it's managing to get up to
the helmets aren't airtight anyway.
Well, we know that, but we don't know if it's happening just on the Aston Martin. We don't know if it's happening to other drivers because you don't see.
I can't say we've sort of particularly seen any other drivers. Must admit, Seb looked like they used to look back in the 60s. When they used to finish races back when they were using the leather flying helmets.
But, yeah, I mean, I reckon the FAA will check that. They have to check that out. That is a safety concern.
Definitely.
What were you going to say? Because you said I reminded you about something.
Oh, there was all the stuff about the FAA put the statement out about people's behaviour at the course and that, didn't they?
Oh, when about the racist remarks?
Racist, or was it? I think it was homophobe. But
Well,
I know
it was
Seb afterwards.
basically racism.
Seb afterwards actually met with the two people involved.
Really?
Yeah, with the people who were victims of it,
Oh,
not
right,
the
okay.
perpetrators.
Fair enough. He's that type of guy, though.
Oh yeah.
I get it. I do get that. I get Hamilton would have had views on that as well. Because it's not nice. I mean, that shocked me and all. I don't know if it was Silverstone. Yeah, I think it was Silverstone. Toto went to the defence of Max over the booing again.
Yeah. The booing thing now,
That's bullshit.
Yeah, I don't. It is, yeah. People doing that need to have a good word with themselves.
Because, okay, yeah, you know, you go watch a football match, a player gets tackled, yes, you boo them.
That's the problem. Everyone's becoming very football-like, which is something I'm not a fan of.
No, but this is what I'm saying. You know, a player gets tackled, you boo them, that's it. You know, you boo them for that moment.
Yeah.
But that's if you're passionate, but you don't then carry on booing that player. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't carry on. That was in the moment. But for what Verstappen received, you know, okay, yeah, you know, I'm a Red Bull fan.
Really? We'd never noticed.
I disagree with the booing, but even when Hamilton got booed at Silverstone after the incident in 2021, I disagreed with the booing then.
Yeah.
I don't think it's. Yes, I get fans are passionate and all this bullshit.
I would argue if no, you're not passionate, you know.
No, but if you are
Passion should be for the sport,
yeah,
not just for.
if you're yeah, but if you're passionate, you know, if you've got passionate for the driver and all that stuff, I get it. You know, like Max has the Orange Army, etc. There's the Hamilton fans.
Oh yeah, the Orange Army. I'm pretty sure couldn't see the start of the wreck.
Fuck me. I thought they weren't allowed to bring flares. You know,
flares. It was full on frigging smoke grenades.
Well, that's what I mean. But I thought they weren't allowed to bring them.
Well, obviously nobody told them.
Well, they were not supposed to. But you know, I get each driver has the set of fans. But yeah, the booing that we have seen over the past 2 years to you know,
Yeah.
it's not.
It's not right.
It's not right. And for anybody that is watching, anybody, yeah, is watching and listening to this, racism against people is wrong. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm no saint. I know I'm no saint.
Oh, we know.
Yeah, but I can imagine you're the same. You're probably no saint. And
what are you trying to say, a good Christian boy?
Hey, you fuck.
Oh, no, that's a fiver.
It's past 10 o'clock. Screw you. But yeah, racism as on a whole, whether it's homophobic, whatever it was, is a big no.
Correct.
Especially, didn't F1
F1 themselves put a statement out about it.
Yeah, I thought they did. And like I say, I bet Hamilton will have had something to say on that. Well,
I don't know. Like I said, I saw the picture. Say Sebano met with the 2 victims.
Which is fair enough, because there was the big push about that, and if it was homophobic, Seb is a big advocate for the LBG.
For the entire alphabet, for that matter.
God, I can never get it. The LBGTQ plus.
I don't know, B&Q, MFI, whatever they've put in it this week.
Yeah, but it's, I know he's a big advocate for that as well. And fair play to him.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really say much because obviously I'm not sat here in them now, but I have my Vans trainers, which are the limited edition, special edition ones that were being sold for Pride Month.
Oh yeah, I saw the picture of those.
Oh, fucking nice. They are nice. And I've got no qualms, but racism in sport is a big no.
Yeah. You like your Vans, I took out for how good I got the man to get the Black Sabbath DCs, and God, they're nice.
I ended up getting a bloody MCR t-shirt as well.
Aye.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Next thing you have a United top on.
Screw off. I'd rather burn the bastard. We're going off topic here.
Okay, the fans we didn't alienate when we said about Lewis have now totally gone to we United fans.
Yeah. Well, I'm a Liverpool fan, so yeah, there you go.
There's a history of mental illness in your family, we know.
There's one person I forgot to mention yet again. Danny Rick.
Go on. Because McLaren right now are in a bit of a...
They're having a shocker. But, on the rumour mill, getting back on topic, rumour mill is, perhaps they swap him out mid-season.
For who?
Let me just do a quick check, because there was a couple of names.
Because while I'm not disagreeing with you, because I have no evidence to counter, I just... Because let's be honest, the McLaren right now is not in a great place.
No, it's not. Weird. As much as I love McLaren. So apparently these are the top 3 possible replacements. They don't know if he's if they're gonna do this, but the top 3 possible, which this is a long shot. Vettel. This is obviously rumour mill.
Yeah.
Colton Herter. Colton Herter from
2 at the moment.
Colton Herter from IndyCar.
Right.
And perhaps Gasly.
Gasly, did you just say?
Mm-hmm. But he's just signed with AlphaTauri.
I was going to... I think we've had this before. Gasly's in a weird place because I don't think he'll get a Red Bull drive again. I don't think he particularly wants one.
I don't think he does.
But I don't think he's ever going to manage to win a championship with an AlphaTauri. I'm ready to be proven wrong, but I doubt it.
But there is also a name of Oscar Piastri. Now, I know we've mentioned Piastri
Yeah.
So apparently this was from 4 days ago. I'm just having a quick look. Obviously, I'm taking these articles with a pinch of salt right now.
Just a pinch, I can hear the truck backing in.
Obviously, Lando's committed till 2025. But yeah, they are looking at
Difficult,
they
like I
are
say.
looking at obviously Piastri is one,
Yeah.
but we won't really know until after the summer break what the hell's going on. Because guess who manages Oscar Piastri?
Go on.
Mark Webber. The Mark Webber.
Yeah.
But perhaps, you might have like Logan Sargent, or I still possibly think Oscar Piastri would be one of them, but who knows? But there is like you say, if he doesn't improve by summer break, whether they switch him out, I don't see the point. I don't see the point in doing
Mid-season
it.
switches were only ever really Red Bull's thing,
Mm.
and all of other teams. And I don't see the point in, because the guy you put in's already lost half the season, so his chances of getting reasonable Rubber Championship are reduced massively.
Yeah, so there'll be no point. So maybe for 2024, you've got the likes of Oscar Piastri, you've got Colton Herta from IndyCar. There could be like we say, it could be Vettel, Gasly, but I don't.
I think Vettel is very much the same as Danny Rick though, because they're both older guys.
Exactly.
That's no way.
But
I mean, we've had this discussion before. I know we have, and
yeah,
I mean, the way things are right now, to me, Norris is the next logical move for Mercedes. So if Hamilton does decide to back down, I could very easily see Norris getting offered it.
yeah, but
And we know Merck would have the pockets to buy out any contract they needed to get him out of the McLaren.
possibly because
They
obviously,
would.
yeah, but as you know, Daimler sold up.
They've still got. In
Daimler
fact, I
sold
would
up.
double check, because
Ah,
I wonder if Norris is managed by Toto or something like that.
1 second.
Please hold, caller. Wouldn't surprise me.
Helpful. Well, Russell's manager is actually called Harry Sutton. That's Russell's manager.
Yeah, but I think he was part of Toto's. Like Bottas was. Bottas was part of Toto's group long before I drove for Merck.
Yeah.
Toto and Merck like doing this to get stuff in for years, just to.
It's apparently, I think it could be Berryman, but I don't know who's actually got him.
Not a name I recognise that, but
No.
maybe I was wrong. I just because he's within the Mercedes ecosystem, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but it would make if he was part of Toto's group, he'd have gone to Williams. If you think Bottas went to Williams.
Yeah, but they had Russell at Williams.
Yeah, no.
And then after that, the Williams did not look competitive. So maybe the idea was McLaren giving more of a. That's also assuming that they'd have another. I'm actually honestly amazed they haven't tried to get a German driver back in. I really am. The fact that they've
You've
gone
got
to two Brits.
Yeah, but you've got the likes. You've got Stoffel Van Dorn.
He's going to be getting on a bit in F1 terms now.
He is, yeah.
The Flying Waffle.
I don't really know who else they've got lined up. That's the problem.
That's it, and I'm trying to rack my brain now, and I don't know off the top of my head.
Because the only one I can think of is Van Dorn.
You look at the look at Williams now. I don't think Latifi will ever be.
I think he's getting replaced next year.
Very possible.
I don't think Albon's going to last either. I'm not being.
Albon wouldn't get into a Merc because he's still, don't forget, in Red Bulls.
He's out of Red Bull's contract.
No, but he's still sponsored by him, though, isn't he?
He's sponsored by Red Bull because that was part of his clause, but he's still out of his contract.
I don't think Merc would have. I don't think Merc would too, but I don't think Merc would have him because I think the links to Red Bull are too close for them to ignore.
Yeah.
Unless they got a very, very tight contract signed.
Exactly. But, I think Latifi's past it. I think since George went to Merc, Latifi's gone downhill.
Since he cost Hamilton a championship.
And
on that bombshell.
I just, I like Albon.
I've actually nothing against him, and he's not performing terribly, but
no, but he still should have stuck at DTM.
I sit here now and I think Hamilton's got another couple of years at most in my book.
If he decides to stay, and this could be his last season for all we know.
Yeah,
because he's got other things under his belt.
Oh yeah, but if he does go, then obviously Mercedes are going to be left with a massive hole in the team, and like I said, I just cannot, off the top of my head, see where a replacement would come from.
Just wondering who they. No, they've got a junior team. But they're not. They're not the. They're not at. They won't be at that level to.
No. They want somebody who's been in F1 for, which is why, to me, I keep going back to Norris. Because he's been in F1 now for a few seasons, has a good idea.
Oh, they could shock everybody. Oh, you could get completely shocked, and they could call Kimi up. But Kimi,
I don't think Kimi would take it, would he? I think Kimi's quite liking his life without.
He's NASCAR, isn't he?
Yeah. Well,
just having a quick look.
It's got you thinking as that, hasn't it?
I'm just wondering who. Yeah, because Mercedes. Oh, yeah, Nick De Vries. Forgot about him. Van Dorn and Nick De Vries are Mercedes reserve.
Yeah, well, like I say, neither of them have a. Van Dorn has a bit of F1 experience for a few years ago.
But he's Formula E.
But De Vries, as far as I'm aware, hasn't actually had any F1.
No, he was Formula. Easy
for you to say.
Champ. He was F2 champ. Was Nick De Vries, but then he went on to Formula E, and basically got the championship there for 2021. So he won last year's Formula E.
Right.
But he is still the Mercedes test and reserve driver.
Yeah.
Red Bull actually have Liam Lawson from F2 as a reserve and test. They also have Sebastian Buemi.
Yeah, there's a name I've not heard for a while.
Yeah, well, they also have Buemi as their test and reserve driver.
Back in the days when the only way you could get to drive for Red Bull was to be called Sebastian.
So
you remember, they had Buemi and Vettel in
Vettel.
F1, and they had Ogier and Loeb in rallying. Danny Rick must have been there thinking, no fucking chance here.
Yeah.
Not unless I change my name.
So, yeah, he is still the... because it would have been Albon. Albon was the reserve and test driver for Red Bull, but because...
Well, Albon was one, every time what happened, you used to end up being the simulator for 9 weeks sorting it out, didn't he?
Yeah, but because he ended up...
because he's now with Williams.
Leaving Red Bull and got Williams, that's why Buemi became the reserve driver.
Yeah.
You know, for Ferrari, Gio and Mick. Yeah. I don't see how that fucking works.
Well, in the same way that Mercedes called Russell in at Bahrain.
Well, that's very true. You also have, as weird as this is, you also have Stoffel Van Dorn and Nick de Vries from McLaren. You also have Paul di Resta.
Yeah, I think Paul di Resta's been there for years, hasn't he?
You have Paul di Resta, you also have Oscar Piastri.
Because I think they only keep di Resta because he's always at a racetrack because Sky have paid for it.
Yeah. And obviously Alpine have Oscar Piastri as well. But Oscar Piastri could probably go to Alpine if Alonso left.
Yeah.
You know, you got Liam Lawson for AlphaTauri as well. Obviously, he's Red Bull's reserve driver, but
yeah,
he's also because it's sister. You know, Aston Martin have got Hulk, Nico Hulkenberg. Williams have Jack Aitken. Go on, take a guess at Alfa Romeo's.
It's going to be Gio again.
No.
I think we've been through this once before. I think we've been through this in a previous podcast.
We probably have.
Is it Gio?
No, it's Kubica.
God.
Haas has Fittipaldi. Petro Fittipaldi.
I'd say Emerson's getting on a bit now, so...
Yeah. So, yeah, you have, like, Petro Fittipaldi as his reserve. And so, yeah, I get why Mick would be Ferrari's reserve. Because, obviously, Haas, Ferrari, he's under the Ferrari program. And... yeah, because didn't Fittipaldi actually race one race last year and binned it?
No, you're not thinking of when it Callum raced the Williams when
Russell stepped in. I thought that was Fittipaldi.
I thought it was Callum
I can't remember. It was somebody, anyways.
So ironically, it was him crashing that screwed Russell's race over, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. But no, Austria, in fair, was
it was a good race.
Good race.
I mean, Ferrari, once again, if they don't screw themselves on strategy, though, their reliability
we didn't
leave a lot to be desired.
We didn't mention that yet.
Well, staying on topic's always so good for us.
I know, but yeah, who lobbed the grenade into Carlos Sainz's car?
I feel so bad for Sainz. He's had such shit luck this year. Australia wasn't really his fault out first lap.
No.
In Imola, in front of the team, out first lap wasn't really his fault. And I honestly thought winning Silverstone might have just got him back into good frame of mind.
I think it did.
But then for the car to let him down like that, and in such a spectacular fashion.
It wasn't just, like I say, it wasn't just a simple Charles Leclerc Baku engine blowout. This thing was like you
Oh,
say,
it
a
detonated. It
grenade.
grenaded.
Yeah.
Because when you saw the slow motion, you saw the side panels
Flex.
bounce
Yeah.
as it went.
Yeah. You saw him like flex out or whatever. And it was just like, but did you notice though how panicky Leclerc got afterwards?
Well, of course he is, because you're driving the same thing.
Yeah.
And you just watched your teammate's car burst, and then all of a sudden he had that throttle problem.
Why didn't he get pulled for that?
Well, he apparently got called to the stewards after the race, didn't he? But I'm guessing nothing came of it, because I've not heard anything.
Yeah, it was basically it was Leclerc, Max, and Hamilton got stewarded. All three of them got stewarded, and nothing. But yeah, I wondering why he didn't get thingy because his throttle wasn't going back. His throttle wasn't releasing back to the dead zone.
I'm guessing the FIA look at it that the car was never dangerous. He was able to keep it enough under control.
He was trying, yeah, but it was like I say, it wasn't going back to what I'm guessing by the looks of when they went the onboard and they showed you the UI thing that they do with the throttle and brake, you could see that the throttle wasn't dropping.
Yeah.
When he wanted it to, it was still staying on. He was having to put his boot under.
And physically sort of lift the throttle pedal up.
Yeah. I mean, that would, if fucking hell we did that to a road car, that'd be deemed dangerous.
Oh yeah, I've actually had vehicles do stuff like that before today. And yeah, well, not throttle, actually, it's normally brake pedal that decides not to come back up again. That's always an interesting moment.
Hmm.
The other one, worse one, was a clutch, especially when the clutch goes the other way. Some fuckers welded it while you were driving.
Yeah. But no, that car went off in spectacular fashion. And then, as you saw, the marshals trying to get the wedge.
Yeah, that was the problem, because obviously we said off air, F1 cars do not have a handbrake.
No, they don't. And as we say, he's trying to get the wedge under the tyre, but the car was rolling. And this was the judgment call. I know I said this off air. Yet again, the FIA's judgment. Why did they virtual safety car it and not full on?
I mean, let's be honest. Leclerc's probably happy they only virtual safety car'd it.
Yeah, he will have been, but that should have been, like we say, there was a rescue vehicle on track.
Oh,
Even
yeah.
the commentators questioned why wasn't it a full-on virtual safety car?
No, full-on safety
full-on
car,
safety car, because there was a vehicle on track.
yeah.
You know, they recover cars and they put a fucking safety car out when there's a low loader or whatever it is on track. You know,
Certainly to me, at any point there's a recovery vehicle, there's a vehicle on course that isn't a race car, there should be a safety car out in my book. I would quite happily make that a rule, because I think it's worth the odd inconvenience is worth the safety.
Yeah, so why wasn't there a full-on safety car?
Hang on, I'll just contact the race director. I've got his number here.
Yeah, tell him he's a wanker. I really don't like the race directors this year. I don't like I'm sorry, but I don't like the FIA in general this year. I just think they're an absolute joke. And apparently sentiments, yeah, nothing was done about that. Apparently somebody badmouthed the FIA and got done for it.
Oh, no,
But
I
we
never heard anything about
we
that.
don't know what was said. Apparently because one of the drivers had, I think it was either Silverstone or Austria, that apparently somebody had either written or said something about the FIA and they hit them hard over it. They fined them for it. It's bullshit. They're trying to make themselves a better image and they're just embarrassing themselves.
Yeah.
Because of all the shit that happened last year, they are trying to make
Honestly,
this.
they're trying to distance themselves from that.
Yeah, and it's not
But
working. They're just
no.
embarrassing themselves. And I've said it, and I keep saying this every podcast. They are an embarrassment this season. Some of the decisions are very questionable. I mean, yeah, 43, as we said, 43 track limit things.
Yeah, but that guy,
I get that.
to play devil's advocate a little bit, but also you've got to enforce those rules, because if you
Yes.
don't, you're gonna have, as I said to you off air, how Sainz didn't get caught for his first corner.
Yeah, I know. But this is what I mean, the consistency it lacks.
It's like the Russell Perez incident, 5-second penalty, because that's what's happened. That's consistent with previous incidents.
Yeah, but he did give him a whack. He did whack him.
And to be fair, Perez, you go around the outside, you're playing a risk, but he was entitled to space. He was actually ahead.
Yeah, exactly. He was ahead, so fair enough. There was a penalty. They were quick on some things, but yet not quick on others. There's not. Yeah, I wouldn't like to do the job, but it'd be interesting to see how it actually works. Then I would make a judge. Then I may retract my statements I've been saying this season, but then again, I might not. But yeah, I just feel that, like we say, having the swapping race directors, it's not. There's no consistency, and the drivers are saying that as well. Like we said, there should have been, even the commentators thought there would have been a full-blown safety car for that vehicle coming on track. Why wasn't there? And they can't say, oh well, it was too close to the end of the race, because it really wasn't.
No.
That's a poor judgment call. They could see the flames, It was just.
Have you seen the pictures of the car afterwards?
Yes.
Yeah, he's made a mess, so I don't think that one will be.
Did make a mess. That's not going to tea cut out.
You might need a couple of bottles anyway.
Didn't Crofty say that's not tea cut out?
Someone like that, yeah.
But I don't know. We'll just have to see what France is like.
Yeah, I'm not holding that much hope, but that's just because I'm not a big fan of the France circuit, as I think he's possibly known. Even though, as we say every time, me and Alan had one cracking race there once.
Exactly.
But then again, it's like we always said, Russia was a boring track to watch, yet we seem to always race it well.
Yeah, we had good races. I mean, we will have to go back and play the older games.
Yeah.
Just for a laugh. See what happens. But yeah, it's going to be France 2 weeks.
Yep.
On. Is it? Sorry if you hear me clicking. It's getting a metric to tell me the date. 24th. And then.
Yeah, well, it was 2 weeks. 2 weeks from.
It's 2 weeks from Sunday. Yesterday.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So.
At time of recording.
Yeah. And. I don't know. I mean, it's going to be interesting because there are some good straights on France. And with these new cars.
I saw that silly lines and shit. I don't. You paid the epileptic's wet dream painting.
But will we see some good racing on France this year with the cars the way they are? Will we see some scraps, or will we not?
Hopefully.
We'll see. Have you got anything you want to finish off with?
Only according to what I'm reading here, we have now confirmed South African GP as of next year. Now, whether I'm assuming that's going to be in place of where Russia would have been.
Yeah, but they already want to put 6 fucking sprint races in next year, and that has been confirmed. 6 sprints in the F1 calendar. Fuck. Monza will make it probably to one of the 6. Because it's it's a good one for a sprint.
To be fair, Austria worked for it.
So did Silverstone.
Yeah.
I mean, if you were to choose the 6 sprints, where would you put it?
Oh, 6.
Well, that's what they want. There's going to be 6 sprints.
Austria, Monza, Silverstone probably a good bet. Bahrain, I reckon, would work.
4.
Australia?
5. And one more.
Abu Dhabi, last race of the year.
Fair enough.
Now, I don't know how that would spread across the season. I might have picked 5 that are next to each other.
Well, 6.
You'd ideally want them to be. I'd definitely make Abu Dhabi for the last race of the year.
They would, yeah.
I think that would just add.
I don't know. I'd probably go. I'd go Jeddah, Monza, Austria, just trying to think now. Named 3.
Jeddah's an interesting call.
Spa.
Oh,
Yeah.
you masochist.
Spa. Abu Dhabi. I agree. And Japan. I would.
Interesting choices.
Yeah, but no, fucking Spa sprint. That would be nice.
Especially if Spa decided to be Spa.
Yeah.
Give us the weather. Yeah, that one could be very interesting.
Okay, now. So what? They've definitely confirmed the South African.
I'm not seeing it officially from F1, but what the tweet I'm reading here that's sort of making me.
It's
basically. Just find it. Twitter's refreshed.
Is it basically just a rumor mill, or that they are looking at the South African GP or something like that?
Apparently, contracts have been signed with DHL to ship out there.
So will they do what they're doing with Vegas and perhaps, do what they do with the Vegas and force it and see how it reacts? Maybe.
Formula One and DHL have signed a 5-year contract to ship all goods and cargo to South Africa.
Okay. But there's been no official announcement, so.
Nothing official. This is from. I'm seeing from a couple of different accounts.
But who would you. What would you replace then? I mean, obviously Russia's probably not coming back to the calendar.
We've got the gap where Russia was.
And obviously I'd like to see Monaco.
I'd happily let France go, as you know.
I'd let Monaco go.
Monaco, yeah.
I want Spa kept. I like Spa.
And to be honest with you, as you know, Britain's not got the highest rating on my.
No, Britain hasn't, but it attracts the fucking crowds.
Oh yeah, and I say that with heavy heart as a Brit and as an F1 fan, you know.
There was a fucking massive. Apparently, there was 2 people got arrested, didn't they, or something, for fighting at Silverstone?
Did they?
Yeah. But I mean, South Africa would be interesting, but it'd have to be put at the time of the year where it's not just going to absolutely monsoon it, because it won't race.
What do you mean the old Brazil problem we used to have when we used to hold it around the middle of the rainy season?
Yeah. That's what I mean. South Africa's a similar climate like that. So they'd have to choose that at a decent time of the year.
Yeah. Saying that, we say that. Look what happened last time we went to Spa.
Yeah, Spa was very 3
Wet.
hours. 3 hours of doing fuck all.
Story of your life, Tiny.
Funny. I mean, I'd like the Nürburgring Grand
Yeah, but
Prix.
when you say that, you mean the Nordschleife, which
No,
that will not happen.
no. I actually mean the GP track.
Ah, right. I was going to say the Nordschleife wouldn't happen because the cars would never stand it.
Oh, no shit. No, I don't actually mean the Nordschleife. I just mean the GP track.
No, fair enough.
Because
I stand corrected.
the track is actually up to standards.
Yeah, well, we had two in Germany for a few years, didn't we? So I think they're looking at.
That's what I mean. Why we got Belgian Grand Prix and stuff. But because they rotated round, wasn't it? Because it
It used to be the
Nürburgring.
European Grand Prix that used to rotate around because it only became Baku for a while.
But
Not Baku, yeah, Baku. Nice.
well, it's Hockenheim, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I say after that, that was the Azerbaijan was run as the European Grand Prix for a while.
I like Baku. Baku's an interesting one.
Right, especially when you get involved. Wipe out half the grid.
No, I wipe out all the grid nearly, except
Yeah, you wipe out all the grid.
I wipe
and then I wipe myself out.
Yeah, I didn't actually check the pit lane this year. I forgot to even look at the pit lane.
We'll have to have a look when we
Yeah. Well, we will be obviously when we come to the end of the season. We will do an end of the season. Have a fair bit to talk about when that comes around.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll probably start the speculation racing and stuff like that, and then we'll be probably do another pre-season. We'll start with pre-season again.
Yeah.
That'd be a nice place. But we are going extremely off topic, so we are gonna end this one here.
Us off topic? Never.
Well, yeah. It's a shame that Alan. We got to mention that Alan wasn't here. It's a shame that.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's tied up with other things.
Last minute, which is fair enough.
These things happen.
Yes. So yeah, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're watching on YouTube. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch, and we shall be back in 2 weeks with our thoughts, and maybe don't know if Alan will be about, but if not, me and David.
Some of us will be here. Some of us will be here anyway.
Yeah, and we'll give you our thoughts on what happened at Paul Ricard.
Yeah.
Yeah, links are in the description. And until then,
so long, and thanks for all the fish.
And goodbye for now.